Hi, class. I want to welcome you to week two of computer applications. And in this week, we're really learning everything we need to know about how to kind of manage our content that we create and where to share it, where to save it, and all those good things. And there's a lot of tutorials that you're going to go through. And I want you to make sure that you go through every single one of those. But let's go ahead and just get started and take a look. I've got this separated into two folders within week two. So we work on two different competencies, and one of them is using MS Word to prepare business correspondence documents, the important part of working in a business situation. And second of all, we're going to practice file management and organization. So here is the agenda for the week. You're watching this. You're going to read about business agendas and why business agendas are important, memos, letters, and envelopes. You're going to watch how to insert a table into Microsoft Word, and there are additional resources for you to read as well. There's two assignments in folder one. Create a meeting and agenda using a template and create a business letter. And those will all be explained in thorough detail. Folder two, this week we'll look at two different ways to save documents, local versus cloud storage, and here we use OneDrive, and I use it all the time. It really helps me out a lot. And then also in folder two, there's some assignments that you'll have to do, working with files and folders, and then zipping documents. So we use zipping to kind of be able to send things that are a little bigger. So let's move on. Okay, so there's two tutorials. There's this one's a 20-minute MS Word tutorial. So if you're not confident with MS Word, this is a great place to get started. And there's another one below that's about 15 minutes. So, I don't know how much you've used Word to create documents in the past. Some people are using like Google Docs, which is great. I use that a lot as well. But we think that understanding Microsoft Word is a little different, and it'll help you serve you really well in the future. Okay, moving on. So I guess the big point here is, why do we need business agendas? And there's some documentation, some research out there that says that business meetings are some of the biggest waste of time for an employee. And without a good agenda to help manage it, then you're oftentimes going to lose people's interest, and they're going to just wander off. There's so many distractions these days as well on the business agenda. So it's important to have an agenda and follow it. And so one of the things I like to tell my students about having agendas is the people that are in need of knowing what is on the agenda should be informed of that agenda before the meeting, and also ask them if they have anything that they need to bring up and put on the agenda. You can also even use an item on the agenda to say, hey, this is for open business when we don't, anybody want to add something to the meeting, but I keep that at the end. Otherwise, it blows up in the middle of the meeting and you never get what you need to get done. I've been a part of people that run really good meetings, and I've been a part of people that run 3-hour meetings, which is, I'd rather poke my eye out with a fork than go to a 3-hour meeting. So it's important to be creative, to get your agenda brief, and to be on time with it. And there's some good tools on how to work with agendas here. Okay, moving on. We talk about business memos a little bit here, and there's some information about business memos. Business memos are memos that are oftentimes sent out to people in the office on kind of a need to know basis, and we'll go over that there. So read up on that stuff, and also business letters. Now, business letters are oftentimes used, when I've used them, have been used in more of a sales setting, an introduction to material, and that sort of thing. So you're going to learn what a good business letter looks like, and then you're going to work on putting together a business letter. Yeah, so envelopes, we use envelopes oftentimes in creating when we're sending out our information. And there's a little tutorial here on how to create an envelope. Well, there's one thing I just thought it'd be a good idea if I jumped in and just showed you how I would do it, right? So this follows those instructions. I created a mailing list, just put my name on it. This I didn't create the bears. The bears kind of came with it. And what I want to do is just click on mailings here and then envelopes, right? I've already got my return address here. That's where the mail is going to go if it doesn't get it doesn't get to the sender. Oops, I'm gonna, pardon me while I delete that. I thought I copied and pasted it. So let's just send a letter to Santa Claus, okay? And then we'll say that Santa lives at 111 Candy Lane Drive. I don't know the real address. I should, but I don't have little kids anymore. North Pole 50 or 525 622. Okay, so then I'm just going to go ahead and add that to the document. All right, and so this then we'll put that envelope right in there. So we'll use this when we're trying to send. Oops. Some other stuff out there. That was from my copy and paste. Didn't go very well. Hey, this is live, right? Anyhow, this is how you add that envelope, and I thought it might be interesting for you guys to see how to do that. So if you have questions, let me know. There are instructions here, and I use those instructions to create that envelope. So, hey, moving on. Here's a real good video on how to insert a table into your Word document. We do that all the time. We need to create just different tables to throw into a Word document. Maybe get some data to support your sales case, and you create a little folder. I'm sorry, a little table to put into that document. You can insert tables that are already created as well, but watch this video. It'll give you some great information there. Here are some optional things to go through. This is just some really good tools for using Microsoft Word and keyboard shortcuts. Most of these are all like PC or laptops, right? And then here's your assignment. You're going to create a media agenda using the template. So go ahead and read through this, and you'll understand how to create that meeting agenda. For the agenda, you can pick a meeting topic of your choice. So I would put yourself into a business situation. Perhaps it's the business of choice that you're interested in working with. And it is the monthly agenda for a company. Let's just say it is. I'll give one. Maybe it's with the Western Marketing Department, right? And then this is a marketing agenda for week 1 of September, and you can use that. So you're going to go into Word, and then you're going to do a little search for templates. So if I go into Word here and I go to File, and I go to New, I can go to Templates, and I can just put in something like Meeting Agenda. Okay. And here are all the different templates that popped up that I can use. Now I put in meeting. If I get rid of the word meeting, I'm just curious to see if more pop up. Yeah, about this, a little more. Okay. But you can use one that you like and kind of go from there. So if you click on it, it kind of blows it up a little bit. And then you can hit create and start your meeting agenda, right? Okay, so that is the first assignment in this, okay? Your next assignment is to create a business letter. So follow the instructions here to create a business letter. There's a template at the bottom here. It's not the greatest one in the world, but then there's an example that I think is very important, and it's kind of in block form. Everything is in blocks and left justified. So all the instructions for that are up in here. You can use that same business that you created before and use that as a letter to another business. Okay, moving on. those are the 2 assignments in folder 1. And then this one is, where should I store my files and what are some of my options? The problem with storing your stuff on a PC and on your hard drive or your desktop is what happens when that thing blows up. Like you drop it in a sink or something like that. Like all that stuff's gone, right? What about if you lose your thumb drive or USB flash drive? It is important to have your documents where you need to be able to find them. I use for school here. I use my OneDrive, right? And so this is where I have all the content of all my courses. And the great thing about that is if I create it here, in my office, when I get to the classroom, all I have to do is log in and bam, there we go. So that's one of the huge advantages of using the cloud, right? And I want you to understand the big difference between that and having it on a personal drive is if you do something, you lose it, whatever, it's gone. So anyways, this goes over some of those details, and there's some couple videos here as well I want you to watch. Okay. All right, moving on. This is how to zip and unzip. Real simple stuff, but if you haven't done it before, then it might be kind of new to you. And so why do we zip and unzip files? Well, we zip a file because it's too big to send otherwise. So it compresses it, it makes it smaller, and then we can send it, we can upload it to Blackboard, we can email it, that kind of stuff. Then we unzip it, we put it into a new folder, unzip it, and then we have access to it all. So it's a good way to send bigger documents. Something we do quite often, like I'll give you an example of when we do that. Let's just say, for example, you're working with logos or pictures or videos, right? And if those are big, then we got to find ways to send them and compress them. We go over screenshots. You're probably good with those on your phone, but what about on a document here? So there's different ways to do it, and there's some good little tutorials on how to do screenshots. And then here's an assignment about working with files and folders. You're going to create those and you do screenshots of it. So we're kind of multitasking here, and you'll upload it into the Blackboard submission in the assignment folder. And then here we're also doing something where we're going to take those files, we're going to zip them, we're going to compress them using what we learned about compressing a file in that tutorial earlier in this section. And then you're going to submit that stuff here. There's a lot of stuff to do here. It's fairly easy once you follow the different tutorials. If you get stuck, please let me know. So that is 2 folders that we have for this week, and each folder has 2 assignments. And if you're having any questions, please let me know. Thank you.